Hey, I know this walk ain't popular, but I follow where your light goes. I know it's you, nothing impossible. Connected to my Abaryt, shining like a light bulb.
Rumamu Yahuwah, Alahuyah, Barak Yahuwah, who is Yahusha. All esteemed to our great King, Abba Yahuwah. Shalom, shalom, beloved ones. Barak Yahuwah. Back again with another, Abaryt teaching, Abaryt breakdown of words, Rumamu Yahuwah. If you haven't watched part one, please do check out all the parts. You definitely need to watch part one to gain the foundation of the Abaryt letters of our true tongue, our true language, not English, not Greek, not Spanish or whatever, our true. If you consider yourself Yasharal, then you need to understand that your true tongue, your true original language is really Hebrew. The scriptures, the books were written in Hebrew, not Greek, not Italian, not Latin, not English. So in order to understand most of what is written today, you have to go back to the origin. That's what we're doing. That's why we head back to the ancient path. It says, ask the elders for the ancient path, and when you find it, walk on it. That's what Yahuwah told us, to seek the ancient path. So Yahuwah is saying us to do what? He's saying us to go back to him, return to him, return to the ancient path, return to the original way of how we should be living. We should be living a lifestyle of obeying what the Torah says, what Yahuwah's instruction says. But the problem is we were lied to. The Torah was removed from our lives. It was hidden from us. Our identity was hidden from us, as a matter of fact. The identity of the Creator was hidden from us. So, the origin was stolen, was hidden, was not revealed unto us. It was kept in secret. But now Yahuwah is bringing what was done in the dark into light. He's exposing these lies. So another deception that has been done is with this so-called language that's called English, which is a hybrid language, which is really a mixture of different languages coming together as one. It's like coexist. If you notice, they want to have a new world order where they have a one world religion, one world currency, one world government. Then if you have a one world religion, one world currency, one world government, guess what else you need? You need a one world language. And that's where English comes into play. Because if you study English and study these English words, you realize that most of these English words that we use today are from French, or from German, or from Italian. That is from different parts of languages today. It's like from every language known on earth today. Even some words are from Hebrew as well. So English is a coexist language. English comes together, brings all languages together as one. But they mostly left out the Hebrew. Why? Because they don't want to lead you back to truth. As I said, you will find, if you trace it properly, you will find traces of Hebrew, but it's not a lot. It's mostly different languages that are Babel. The true tongue is Babel. Because remember, in the days of Nimrod, they were all speaking one language, which means they could understand each other. No one wasn't speaking English at that time, or no one was speaking Greek, or no one was speaking Latin, or whatever, Aramaic, Babylonian tongue. No, they were speaking Abaryt, Hebrew, because that's the tongue of creation. That's the original language. Go read Jubilees 12, verse 26 or 25 to 26. Go read Genesis, where it says that all the earth was speaking in one tongue. Now, if the scriptures were originally written in Hebrew, that means that must be the original tongue. You don't even have to go to the book of Jubilees to confirm this. All you have to do is use your head. Use the common sense that Yahuwah has given us, and then this will be revealed to you that this is the tongue of creation. This is the original language. The true tongue, the one of the most pure tongue on earth that has not been corrupted. So back to Nimrod. During Nimrod days, every human being was talking with one tongue, one language. There was only one language. There was no English, there was no Latin, there was no German, there was no Greek, none of that. Do you know how these languages came to exist today? And do you know why they came to exist? I mean, we should all know that, especially if you grew up in Christianity. If you grew up reading the Bible now and learning something, even though the newer generation, some don't even know these stories. because back in the days they used to read these stories to us, like the story of Noah and the flood, the story of how the languages came to be, and all these different things. But they're not. It's not being done today. They're removing us from the ancient path and bringing us onto lawlessness without keeping the Torah, without instructions. So if you go back to origin, go back to the history of things, you will see where our people were all speaking, every human being were all speaking one tongue, one language. And because of their amunah, their belief, their faith, and their unity, they united in rebellion against Yahuwah. They decided to build the Tower of Babel. And that's why Yahuwah had to come down and confounded their tongue, which means confuse them. He gave multiple languages. So no, instead of speaking one language where we all understand each other, no, there are new tongues here on earth. There are new where different persons are speaking in tongues, different languages. I'm speaking Hebrew, you're speaking Greek. I don't understand a thing that you're saying because all I know is Hebrew. No, you learn Greek, and all you understand is Greek. You don't understand anymore what I'm saying in Hebrew. Then another person is speaking Latin, another person is speaking Aramaic. So this is how the languages came to be. And because of that, the Tower of Babel was put on hold, was paused. But remember, Yahuwah says, so it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in our time. Nothing is new under the sun, which means they're going to try to do it again. Because remember, Hashatan's goal is to be like the Most High, is to be the Most High. So guess what? He's going to try again. So that's why you see today they're trying to unite everyone on earth, talking about coexist, and we need to love one another, love everyone, be equal with one, and we're all the same. It doesn't matter if you are, if you have a belief, if you don't have a belief. It doesn't matter whether you believe in the Most High, a higher power, or you don't believe in the Most High, a higher power. We can all get along as one. We're going to be united as one. That's why there's so much talk now today about UFOs, because they're going to use UFOs and different things to bring the world together. If you watch most movies with UFOs or aliens, as they would say, aliens, so-called aliens, which are really, fallen, the fallen. But if you watch most movies with so-called aliens or fallen ones, what do you see happen at the end of the movie? You see all the nations of the earth coming together to fight against one common enemy. Who do you think that one common enemy is? It's Yahusha. And that's what they're trying to do today. But they're starting slowly, one step at a time. So they are slowly programming our minds to be as one. That's why certain states, certain governors, and the president and different leaders are removing certain things from the schools, from the workplace, from their countries, because they want you to see a person as one. Doesn't matter the skin color, doesn't matter their belief system, their background, nothing matters. We are one people. We serve one person. But as people know, we are not one with the other nations who choose to serve mighty ones, who choose to serve idols. We are not like them. But our ancestors in the past strive to be like them. Because remember in the days of Samuel, they said to Samuel, we want a king that we can see. We want to be like the other nations around us. And that's what led them into captivity. That's what led them to be slaves, even though Yahweh warned them and told them, if you choose this path, if you so choose to go on this path, this is what an earthly king will do to you. This is what the other nations experience. These kings, they collect tax. They will tax you. They will take most of what you have. They will use your females, your wives and your daughter as mates, as servants. He will take your daughters maybe for his wives if they are very beautiful. And you, as males, will be his bondman, his servants. You will be working in the fields. He warned them. You will lose if you choose the earthly king. He warned them, but nevertheless, they still said, oh, Yahuwah, we don't care. We want it. We want it. This is what we want. So they rejected Yahuwah as their king, and they chose the earthly king. So Yahuwah rose up Sha'al, or Saul. And now look at where we are today. Nothing is new under the sun. These kings, these leaders over us, they are taking our possessions. They are taking our possessions. They are taking our females. They are making us bondman, bondwoman, even up until this day. The wages that we work are not our true wages. We should be getting a lot more. but we're not getting a lot more. Plus, they're taxing us. They're taxing us in every way. Gas prices, food prices, all these things going up because of what we chose. So in order to get back to truth, you got to go back to the origin. In order to go back to the origin, you got to find the ancient path. You got to understand the ancient path. Understand how our people live, walk, talk, eat, sleep, do everything. And this is a part of it, the language. So it's not just about keeping the Shabbat. It's not just about doing, the dietary laws and all that stuff. Like everything, you got to do it all. You got to love Yahuwah with your all, even in your speech. So we are at Shamud 23, verse 30. I'm just going to go over two words that really messed Yasharal up today. A lot of Nazarenes, a lot of believers who believe in Yahuwah Yahusha still do mess up on words. And the thing is that I realize is most persons don't understand how this is truly important. As you can see, I'm at Shamut, Exodus 23, verse 13, and it reads, "In all that I have said unto you, that I have said to you, take heed rather, and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. Let it not be heard from your mouth." Let it not be heard from your mouth. Make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. This is a commandment as well. If you read Shamut, if you read Exodus from chapter 20 to 23, you will see where Yahuwah is listing some things. He's listing the commandments. He's listing the instructions that we should follow, that we should be guided by, that we should observe, we should keep. So in order to truly keep it, you got to do it to the exact T. Remember, James said, if you break one part of the Torah, you are guilty of the Torah. You are a transgressor. Even though you may, honor your father, your mother, you may keep the Shabbat. Yahuwah says, love your brother as yourself. You don't love your brother as yourself. You're breaking, you're a law breaker, or a Torah breaker, rather. It's just like different places that we are today, Jamaica, America, Canada, Europe, whatever. You have different laws. Even if you don't kill, even if you don't steal, let's say in your country rather, there's a law that says do not let's say you broke a speeding law and you keep on breaking that law, you keep on speeding, keep on getting fines. No, what's going to happen next? The officer is going to have to arrest you because no, you're a criminal. You're considered a criminal. You have a criminal record, which means you have broken laws. You're a lawbreaker because you're speeding. So even though you may not murder, even though you may not steal, but you're still breaking a part of the law. That's the same thing with Yahuwah. Even though you may keep the Shabbat, keep the feast days and all that stuff, you got to do everything. But are we doing everything? So the problem is today why so many people still use pagan mighty one's name and don't even understand the depths and the consequence to this is because most don't understand that this is a Torah. This is an instruction. This is a commandment that Yahuwah told us not to do. And it's not only here that he said this clearly, it's also in Joshua 23. Now I'm going to read to you short. Before I get there, let's read it in the Amplified version. Because this is the TS 2009, as you can see, the scriptures 2009. Let's go to the Amplified version and see what this says. No, it says, Barak Yahuwah. Now it says, verse 13 reads, "Now concerning everything which I have said to you, concerning everything which I have said to you, be on your guard. Do not mention the name of other mighty ones, either in barakah or in a curse. Either in a respect, I believe it should be barak, respect, or in a curse. Do not let such speech be heard coming from your mouth." That's what the Amplified version said. So Yahweh is telling us to be on our guard, to remember, be very careful not to do this. Why would he tell us to be very careful not to do this? Because he knew these heathens would try to be very subtle, putting their names in our speeches on a daily basis. So we saw with the Bible what they did with the scriptures. They removed the name of Yahuwah, Yahusha, and they replaced it with Lord, the Lord, and God and Jesus. Is that his name? Were those his name? No. Those were pagan mighty ones' names that they replaced the Most High name with. So that's why it was to be very careful to guard this, because he knew this was going to happen. But many would agree right there, and yes, the Lord is a pagan mighty one, is Baal, God is a pagan mighty one, and Jesus is a pagan mighty one. Like many will agree on that in Yasharal, in Yahuwah. But the problem is most only stop there. You only think that that's the only place that they place pagan mighty one's name. That's the only place that you thought that they replace. They replace words as well. Words that we would think we're giving esteem or adoration to Yahuwah, but we're not. We're adoring mighty ones when we use certain words. It's not giving esteem. So even the praise words, the words of praise that we were given today in English, like H-O, Lamad Y, the English letter that looks like a hockey stick, Al, that letter, that word is the name of a pagan mighty one. And there are many more. So Yahweh is warning us. What is he saying to us? Go research, be on guard. 2 Timothy 2, verse 15, study to show yourself approved unto him. Now let's jump to Joshua 23 and let's read what it says there as well. Because some persons, I've heard persons to say, well, Azari, that's talking about, our ancestors. And the reason why he gave that command was because they were in Mitzrayim and they were in the land of their captivers. So that's for them. That's not for us today. Like, really? All right. So you're saying then from Exodus 20 to 23, those commands were for our people back then. It's not for us today. It's the Torah. That is a part of the Torah. The Torah is forever. I mean, not everything in the Torah we may do today because we don't have Levi priests or certain things, but still some things still has to be kept. And we do have a high priest, which is Yahusha. So we're at Joshua 23. We're going to read from verse 6 to 7, Rumamu Yahuwah, in the TS 2009 version. Now listen to what this says, and I'm going to read it also in the Sefer, so you can hear what it's saying. Now listen to what this says, Barak Yahuwah. And you shall be very strong to guard and to do. You shall be very strong to guard and to do all that is written. All. It says all, not some. All that is written in the book of the Torah of Masha, so as not to turn aside from right or left. Now let me read from the scriptures. Not the scriptures, but Barak Yahuwah. Not the scriptures, but the Sefer, rather, I was trying to say, Barak Yahuwah. So let's go back, right here. Joshua 23, verse 6. Now listen to what the Sefer says. Be therefore very courageous, very brave, very bold, to guard and to do all that is written. Why is Yahuwah telling us to be very courageous, be very bold, be very brave? Because guarding his commands, there's a spirit of fear that causes us to be timid, that causes us to be afraid to stand and guard his commands. And especially when it comes on to peer pressure, when it comes on to the mob, when we see our brother and sister, saying stuff that they should not be saying, and no, we should defend it, we are afraid to say something because we don't want to be called names. Because I've heard persons, to stand up for the Torah, and the ones that are doing wrong, you will say, "What are you? Are you a Torah police? Are you a this? Are you a that?" That is why Yahuwah say that, because you're going to be mocked, you're going to be jeered, you're going to be attacked, they're going to call you names and all that stuff because they don't want to guard it. They don't want to be strong. They're giving in to the spirit of fear. So we got a lot of cowards out here running around, especially with our meals. They are not bold enough to stand on Yah's truth. We give in too easily to the spirit of fear. My Yashar shared something, and it's definitely true. It's something that Yahuwah said to me that, it was a confirmation through my Yashar. And she didn't even know it. This was a confirmation through her that Yahuwah said to me. When I did the video regarding the rule of a woman, Yahuwah even shared it. do one regarding the role of a man as well, because not only do most females don't know their role or their places in Yasharal, but most males as well don't know their role, their places. Most males are allowing the females to take the lead, to take charge. And that's why we see so many females, stepping up, trying to do better, trying to teach or do the stuff, because most males are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're giving in to easily. So that's definitely going to be coming. Maybe this Shabbat, maybe next Shabbat. Let's see what Yahuwah says. When should it be? So right here, Yahuwah is saying us to be very strong, very brave, very courageous, to guard to do all that is written in the book of the Torah of Marsha, which I love to say of Yahuwah. Because it's not Marsha that wrote this story. It's not Marsha's book. It's Yahuwah's book. But it was given unto him to give to the people. He was the leader in that time. Now listen to verse 7. Listen to verse 7. And I'm also going to read this in the Amplified. Verse 7 says, so as not to go in among these nations, these who remain among you, and make no mention of the name of their mighty one, nor swear by them, nor serve them, nor bow down to them. Now let me ask you this. Where are we today? Are we in the land of of Yasharal? Are we in the land of our freedom where we should be, or are we in the land of our captivity? Are we in the land of our presence? Ask yourself that question. For those who will say that, for those who say that, that's speaking to the children of Yasharal back in their days, because they were in the land of Babylon, the land of slavery, the land of bondage. Now, let me ask you this. Where are you now? Aren't you in the land of bondage? It wasn't this prophesied that from Yahuwah in Dabarym, Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, that we are going to be cast out as bondman and bondwoman. And here we are today, and Yahuwah's delivered us. Aren't we around pagans still that still choose, heathens still that choose to serve Hashatan and not Yahuwah? Aren't there so many mighty ones' names out there? So how can you say that's only talking to the people back then and not us, when we are in the same place as they were? We're in the same place. That's why he said mystery Babylon. We're in the same place. So no, this is why Paul, Sha'al, the Apostle Paul said in Romans 12, verse 2, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to unlearn to relearn. If you have full up your head with knowledge, thinking you have true knowledge, and don't humble yourself to truly be taught by Yahuwah, then you won't be able to relearn. You won't be able to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because you are coming in with knowledge already. As I said, for those who are coming in from, the doctorate, those Bible schools, if you come in with that mentality and not humble yourself, knowing that all that you were taught, most of what you were taught were lies, were all lies. Most of what you were taught were lies. You were taught wrong. You were taught by the beasts. You were taught by the Roman Catholic. You were taught by the RCC. So you got to unlearn all of that. You got to take some time out to go study, to relearn, to program back your mind to how Yahuwah wants. If you don't do that, then you will still have a reprobated mind. You will still, even though you left religion, even though you left Christianity, you will still operate that way. You will still be operating that way. So even though you left religion, you will still be operating as a religious person, one that doesn't want to go deeper in the truth. And that's what religious people do. They don't want to go deeper in the truth. They don't want the truth. They reject it. They only take what they choose, what they desire. And that's Yah's permissive will, not his perfect will. So the problem is today, most don't understand that this is truly a command that we should guard as well. And that Yahuwah had to say in two places, almost the same way. Chapter 23 of Shamot, Exodus, and chapter 23 of Joshua. Both are the same number, same 23, only thing different verses. But basically, it's the same reading. It says, don't make a mention of the name of the mighty ones around us. Now, let's go back to the top, and let's read in the Amplified, Umamu Yahuwah. In the Amplified, it says, Be steadfast and very determined. Be steadfast and very determined to keep and to do everything that is written in the book of the Torah of Masha, or of Yahweh, so that you do not turn aside from it rather, to the right or to the left. Listen, verse 7. So that you do not associate with these nations which remain among you, or mention the name of their mighty ones, or make anyone swear an oath by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. So you're not supposed to make mention of the names of their mighty ones. You're not supposed to swear by them. You're not supposed to serve them or bow down to them. Make an oath. And that's what we did. We made oaths with JC when we were in CIT, when we got baptized in JC's name. We made oaths when we got married in JC's name. We made oath unto JC. And that's what a lot of persons don't understand with marriages outside of Yahuwah. It can be renounced, it can be denounced, it can be broken in Yahuwah's name. Because that was not a covenant, a vow made to Yahuwah. You made a vow, a covenant with devils, with demons. If you watch Yeshai's teaching, the demon of God, part 1 and part 2, he told us in part 2 to renounce Christianity. Christianity is not our part 1 and part 2 is explained to renounce it, to denounce it. So what are you doing when you renounce and denounce something? You are breaking, ending that contract, that covenant, that vow that you made with that devil, with that demon, with that idol, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Because some of us, we weren't in religion. Some of us, we were in, New Age. We were in the occult. Some were even in the Illuminati, the Freemasonry. And you broke that covenant with death. You renounce it, denounce it. That's what you're doing. You're breaking that covenant. Because what? You have died of the flesh. So even though it's a marriage, you're still dying. Because remember, in order to be separated, according to the Torah, in order to be separated from a marriage, a person gotta die. And that's what you're doing. You're dying of the flesh, of that worldly covenant marriage that you made with devils and demons. And now you're remarried, you're getting married again in Yahuwah, spiritual marriage, spiritual covenant, a true covenant in Yahuwah. So that's the same thing that we gotta do. We made a lot of oaths. We swear by these false mighty one name, and they still are having us doing it today. Because what most don't understand is because you don't properly do your research, and it's quite clear. It clearly shows. And even if you do research or you watch, then it clearly shows that you have then a lazy mind or reprobate mind, or you're just wicked and evil. Because how can you research and find out that this is a pagan mighty one's name, but yet still choose to use it? Still choose to adore Yah, so-called you think adore Yahuwah with these pagan words. How can you know this is not adoration, this is not Yahuwah's name, but still choose to use it anyway? That's being wicked in this. That's being rebellious. That's truly being rebellious. So, this is what we need to understand. This is something that Yeshai used to teach a lot. Don't mention it. Pagan devils invaded our KJV. Not only did they invade our KJV, but they invaded this language. Because remember, languages were given because of rebellion of the people. It was given so that they could be confused and rebel no more and carry out the goal that they wanted to accomplish, that they wanted to do. That's why Yahuwah made these different languages to confuse them, to stop them in their tracks. And look at what it's doing today. It's causing a lot of confusion because of English, which so many are just taking word for word, they are getting misconceptions of the scriptures, of Yahuwah's word. Because most are only reading English versions. Some are reading from the KJV still, some are reading from the NIV, some are reading from like the TS. If you take this just as it is without researching the Hebrew word for these things, then you will see just as how many people think the month or the Shabbat begins with the first civil line of the new moon or the new moon and all kind of stuff. It says blow the shofar on the new moon. When that word there for new moon is adash, which means month. So it's saying renewing, new month. The word for moon is yara, two different words. But because the translators replaced it from being month with moon, you know why? Because they worship the moon. the English translators, these Edens, they worship the moon, they worship the sun, they worship idols. So they want you to do the same unknowingly. So in order to truly be Kadash, separated unto Yahuwah, pure unto Yahuwah, we gotta do a lot of things. We gotta get rid of a lot of things. We gotta get rid of the way we speak, walk, talk, dress, and eat. Why did you think Kappa was easily identified? Because of his dressing, yes. Also because of his speech. Because remember, when the third person identifies, it says, oh no, you are definitely with them. Your speech gives you away. How do I know for sure that you are one of them? You don't talk like us. You don't talk like the rest of us. You don't swear like us. You don't slang like us. You don't curse like us. Even though that's not in the words, word for word. But that's what the person was saying. That was the person was implying. Your speech betray you. You don't talk like the rest of us. And then what do you see happen? How do we know this? How do I know this for sure? Kappa did that very thing. He started to talk like them. He started to curse, slang. Look at the word today. The word is run by slangs and curses. And by curse, words of curse, guess what we're doing? We're swearing by pagan mighty one's name. I see even Yasharal doing this today, cursing and swearing and using a lot of slangs that we don't even research where they're from. Some slangs I see Yaakov, because I call some people Yaakov because they have not truly been circumcised in their heart. I see some in Yaakov out here using certain slangs and words that you have no idea what you're using and saying and what oath you're making by using these slangs and these words. But it's like you take it for, oh, it's not that important. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that I keep the Shabbat, is that I keep the feasts. That's all that matters. Like, come on, seriously? Don't be lazy. Do not be lazy. Do not allow pride and all these things to mess you up like that, to make you think as if you ain't messed up. Your mind haven't been messed up. Because that's what the enemy wants us to think. That's what the enemy wants us to feel. Oh, we have made it. We know a lot now, so we don't need to go any deeper. We don't need to study anymore. We don't need to research anymore. A lot of these words that we use to think that it's cool or to give adoration, because what? We're trying to fit in with the word. So that's why we use slangs. That's why we use words of curse. We try to talk like the word. We try to walk like the word. We try to dress like the word. We're just trying to fit in like the word. Listen to what the Amplified says. Do not associate with these nations. What association has light with darkness? What association has right with wrong? Yahuwah warned us of this. Yahuwah says, have no fellowship with evil, with darkness, with the fruits of darkness, but rather expose them. So we should not be like our wicked ancestors that wanted to associate with the other nations, that wanted to walk like them, dress like them, talk like them, eat like them. And that's what we're doing today. So I don't understand how so many persons will look at how we dress, how we eat, but not focus also on how we walk and talk. Because a lot of how we walk and talk is from the heathens. You gotta be different. You gotta look different. You gotta act different. You gotta sound different as well. Kappa sounded different. He looked different, act different, but what really gave them away, especially for the third person, he says, oh no. You know what really gives you away that you are different from us, that you are not one of us? How you talk. You don't talk like us. Your speech betrays you. And what did Kappa do? Kappa started to curse. He started to slang, and he was sorrowful. He regretted it after. When he heard that crow, when he saw what happened and all that, he regretted it and he changed. He went back and he became bold as a lion. Remember Acts 4, when they wanted him no longer to preach or teach anymore about Yahuwah, Yahusha. He went back, he went to the other disciples and apostles. He told them what happened. What did they do? They prayed and asked Yahuwah to give them more courage, more boldness to do this. Because it takes a lot. There's a spirit of fear that pushes us not to do these things, not to correct your brother or sisters when you see them going astray. It's a spirit of fear that causes you to worry how the person is going to react if you should correct them, or what the person is going to say. Are we going to be friends anymore? Are we going to be brothers anymore, sisters anymore? You know what? I'm not going to say this. This is too harsh for that person. I'm not going to say it's too harsh. Correction is harsh. That's what the flesh thinks of correction. The flesh, correction is harsh to the flesh. But to your love, to your inner man, to your rule, to your soul needs it. That's what Yahuwah gives it. Yahuwah says who he loves, he corrects. But it's the spirit of fear that keeps us from doing it. Or, as I said, it's because we are doing the same thing, or maybe even worse, why we are too afraid to say something. Because if we say something, and especially if that person know, we are afraid we be exposed and look a lot worse than they are. And remember what Yahuwah says. Why worry about the peck in someone else's eye when there's a log in yours? So the problem today is fear, the spirit of fear. That's why he said in 2 Timothy 1, verse 7, he did not give us a spirit of fear. So that's why right here in Joshua, he said to be very courageous, very steadfast, very determined, bold, brave. That's why he said this, because he knows that spirit of fear will try to hinder you, try to stop you from keeping his instructions. I've seen so many allowed fear to stop them from keeping the Shabbat, stop them from keeping the feast days, because their parents or their loved ones, their families will say to them, so what, you're not coming to the family Xmas barbecue anymore? You're not coming to our EASDR dinner anymore? If you don't come, then you'll be cut off from our family. You'll be cut off from all family ties. And because of that, I've seen so many give in to that. I've seen so many because you want to keep the Shabbat, but your employers, the different job opportunities, interviews that they go to, I've seen so many try and most won't give them the Shabbat. So you know what happens? They compromise. They compromise their walk with Yahuwah to please themselves, because that's the only person you're pleasing. You're pleasing yourself. But guess what? When you think you forsake Yahuwah, you only forsook yourself. Yahuwah is in the heavens right now. He's in the Shamayim. He's everywhere in the earth. He's creator. He's all knowing. He's all powerful. He needs none of us. Okay? Get that. He doesn't need you. He could restart this earth a long time ago without you. But because he made a promise to Abraham, and he made a promise to himself, and he's a promise keeper. That's why he said he's not like man that he should lie. He's not like man that he should say something then change their mind after or reverse it. That's what he meant when he says he's not a man. It should be not like man. He's not like man to do that. To say something then reverse it. No, he's going to keep it. He's going to do it. If he says it, he's going to do it. As long as it's according to his perfect will. So we have to understand that this is how the enemy operates. The enemy wants us to displease Yahuwah. The enemy wants us to forsake Yahuwah so that Yahuwah will forsake us. So that we will be in the pit with him. So that we will be in pain and torment as he will be. That's what the enemy is getting you to do. And that's why there's not much focus being put on these words. No, two of these words where I really see Yasharal messing up with. Yaakov messing up with. Let's head over there right now. Barak Yahuwah. Yahuwah. Let's go to the Strongs. Barak Yahuwah. Let's go to the Strongs. Yahuwah. Let's head over to the Strongs and show you two of these words where I see Yasharal messing up a lot with. Still using these words or these names of Pig and Michael. No, one of these words is in reference to Yahuwah. One is in reference to us, which is Yasharal, and one is in reference to Yahuwah. When we choose to use the title Aluah, but they use this word instead. This one, Lamad OHIYM or YM, whatever you want to spell, but as long as they spell with an E. That's one of the places where I see many people messing up with Yahuwah and thinking you're talking to Yahuwah or talking about Yahuwah when it's not Yahuwah if you use this one. Now let's go to the Strong's real quick. Barak Yahuwah. So here it is. It's Hebrew number 430. And it's pronounced, they say, Elohiym. It is the plural form of this version. I'll show you what that is. It's the singular form. because this means mighty ones, more than one. The YM makes it plural, which means more than ones. As you can see, they put it here, GODs. Well, it should be mighty ones in the ordinary sense. So many persons will say this, but what many don't do is identify the Hebrew letters. What do you see? Now, above here, we have the Aleph, the Aleph. Now, the Aleph in English would be an A, not an E. It is the Nakud system that changed it from being an A to an E. And again, here do we go again. Yahuwah says, do not add or take away from his word. And here we go again, falling for the same trick by the heathens, by the RCC, adding to Yahuwah's word when they replace the A with an E. If you should go right now and look up what is the Hebrew letter for the letter E, you will not find it. Because the Nukud system, all it does is the A, it changes the sounding. It does not really change the letter. But many put the letter there. So the Nukud system changes the sounding. And that's why a lot of persons put E there. But that's wrong. It should be an A, the Aleph. If you go research the Hebrew, you'll see all the names of the letters. And as I said before, the names of the letters, the first part, it tells you what letter they should be in English, the corresponding letter in English. So the Aleph, as you can hear, it's an Allah. So that's the first letter is what? A. So how do we get an E today? Why are we saying this? You know, why are we saying this? Because we don't properly study. We don't take this seriously. That's the problem. We truly, some or most, do not take this seriously. And some do not know. Some of you out there don't know. Because some of you out there, this is what you came to when you first came into the truth. At first, you were saying titles and names like Lord or God and all that stuff. And then you found out that's not his name. Then you came to Yahuwah, you came to JC. But when you look up the Strongs, this is what the Strongs show you. Elamad Ohiym. And I can understand that. But if you continue to study and research, you'll find out, well, wait, that Aleph is not an E, it's an A. It's not an Elef, it's an Aleph. So that's an A. Now the next one beside is the Lamad. Lamad. That's the English letter that looks like a hockey stick. That looks like a line going down. Then the next one beside is a hey. Like, hey, I'm over here. Hey, with the letter H. Here it is. We got the letter H. Next one is a yad or yud. Ya, with the letter Y as in you. Or yellow. So if you notice, the Y is right here. The next one is mam or mayin. And if you can listen to the sound, ma, that's an M. And we get the M right here. So this should be A lamad Hym. But look, we have E lamad Ohi, an additional letter. Where is the I from? They're saying the Y should be an I. No, as I said in the letter teaching, when the Y is not the first letter, when it's not the first letter, then it makes a I song. So that's why it's Alahym, like him, Alahym, him. So that's why they put the I there, but it should not be there. It should be a Y only by itself. So they put an E here, which should not be here, an O and an I, which none of these letters are in the original Hebrew. In the modern Hebrew with the Nakud system, yes, you will find E and O. But if you go back to Paleo and Picto, you will find no E, no O, no I. And that's where a lot of persons will stop their studies. They will only use the modern Hebrew to study. I don't know why, but that's where most stop. Only stop at the modern Hebrew. You need to go deeper. As I said, we're seeking the ancient part, which means you got to go back to creation. You got to go back to the origin. You got to go back to creation. You got to go back to the origin. You got to go back to the original tongue, the original concept of what the word should be. If you go back to that, if you research the Peter and the Picto, you'll realize that these letters are not within it. The only way these letters came to exist is the Nakud system, or as I like to call it, the knockoff system. Go research the Nakud system and go research modern Hebrew without it, like as you can see here on the screen. then research it with the dots, the vowel pointings, the dots, the vowel pointings. Go research what those vowel pointings does, and then you will see the corruption that they're doing. They are corrupting our language, even though modern Hebrew is really a mixture of Aramaic and Hebrew. But that Nakul system is a mixture of Aramaic and Hebrew. But if you research the modern Hebrew, the original, without the Nakul system like this, it will lead you back to the original. Because as I just showed you, that's the Aleph. They clearly made that known. You can go research that chart. You can go look up any Jewish scholar, anything. They will tell you that's an A. That's an Aleph. They will tell you it should be an A or it could be an E, whatever. But they will say A. They will tell you it's an Aleph. They will say Alif or Aleph. They will say Aleph. They will not say Alaf or Allah. They say Aleph with an E. If you go research the next one, they will say it's a Lemed, Alamad, Alamed. They will say, so they are telling you the truth, but also at the same time corrupting it by removing the A and placing an E there, removing the U and putting an O there, removing the Y or adding an I to the Y. Changing the B, putting a V, changing the U, putting a V or a W. They are corrupting the language. Show me where in English have we ever removed P and put a T there. Show me that. It's not there. So this is wrong. This is A Lamad HYM. Now this is the plural form, which means mighty one. So if you're referring to other mighty ones, as we just read in Shammut 23, when Yahuwah says, do not make mention of the names of other mighty ones, in Hebrew it would be, do not make mention of the names of other Alahym, of other mighty ones. Now let's go back to the plural and see what the plural form is. So it's a plural form of this. Now we have again the Aleph, the Lamad, but now we have a new letter. This letter is the Wa, which is a U. And then we have the Hey, which is an H. So it's A Lamad U H. But here they put back E O W A to H because the Hey kind of give that A sound. Ah. So it's Aluah. It is Aluah. It is Aluah, which means mighty one. And it is from this word or this title, Al, which means almighty, mighty, strength, power, strong. In the concrete Hebrew, this would mean strong authority. So the singular form would be Al or Aluah. That's when you refer to one mighty one, which mostly is Yahuwah. But you could be saying one mighty one pagan mighty one. Like the Al of this world has blinded the eyes of all the people. The Aluah of this world has blinded the eyes of all the people. So that's why when we say Aluah, it would be best to say Yahuwah Aluah so persons know who you're talking about. If you say Alahym, then someone who's studying won't have any idea who you're referring to. Because when you say Alahym, you're referring to many mighty ones, not the true Aluah. So that's why most persons will say Yahuwah. That's why you see it worded like that. Yahuwah Aluah. Yahuwah the mighty one of all. Yahuwah the strong authority. Yahuwah the strong authority that adds breath. That's why you see Yahuwah Aluah. But they're trying to corrupt it and put there Yahuwah Alahym, Yahuwah mighty ones. The Alahym of all Alahims. You're saying the mighty ones of all mighty ones. How does that make sense to a new beginner that's new to the truth, that's new to Abaryt? You see, Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. So when you research these things, you realize that that's not their true name, that's not their true form. That's not what it should be. Now let's move on to the next word, the final word that we most use towards identifying ourselves. This is the word right here. Israe Lamad. That's one of the words right there, Barak Yahuwah. Now here it is. Israe Lamad. Most Yaakov, most in Yahuwah refer to themselves as this. Some will even put a Y before it and make it YS. I don't know how that works, how that play out, how that comes in, because Yahuwah says in 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14, go read it for yourself. If my people that are called by my name, what is Yah's name? His name, what is the Most High's name? His name is Yahuwah. Yahuwah means Yah, who adds breath. Yahusha means Yah is deliverer, or Yah who adds deliverance. Ahaya means I the Yah. Ashar, strong, sharp head of man. Ahaya, I am the Yah. So again, you see Yah keep popping up. Yah, Yahram, Yahu. Exaltation is added onto Yah. Yasha, Yahu. Deliverance is added onto Yah. Deliverance, Yah adds. So most of the prophets, you'll see that name, like Ali, Yahu, Yahu Anan. So his name is Yah. So if we're called by his name, it would be Yah something. So how are we using IS when IS is not Yahuwah's name? So the thing is now that we need to identify is what is the original name, what is the Hebrew for this. Now, how do you do that? You click on it. It's simple to find. It's really easy. You just gotta take time. But most are not willing because, as I said, lazy. You become too comfortable with your life. Or you find excuses. Oh, I'm too busy. I gotta work. I gotta take care of my family. Really? Did the apostles told Yahusha, oh, Yahusha, don't you see I'm busy? I'm fishing right now. Oh, I'm a tax collector. I'm busy. Did anyone tell them that? The righteous, I mean, the unrighteous did that, but not the righteous. They found time because it's for their own benefit. You're not doing this for Yahuwah. Only you're doing this for yourself as well. As I said, Yah don't need you. He'll find someone else. Just as he did with Saul, with King Saul. Saul didn't want to do it. He found someone else. It's that simple. That's how Yahuwah works. So don't make it seem as if, oh, yeah, I can't do this without you. Oh, your name is there for sure. You don't have to endure it. Oh, don't fool yourself. So click on it. It's going to take us to this right here. And it shows that we have the Yad, we have Shin, we have the Rash, we have the Aleph, and we have the Lamad again. Now, as you can see, this is what some persons call themselves with the Yids. So like Yahuwah for saying this part because this one is a name. But they put a Y before it and call themselves by that. Some, I think, even remove the A and put an I here. I don't know what they do. And that's what some will call themselves. But this is what's there. The Yad, the Shin, the Rash, the Aleph, and the Lamad. Which the Yad would be a Y, the Shin would be SH, the Rash would be R, the Aleph already you know would be A, the Lamad would be the English looking letter that looks like a hockey stick, the Al. Not going to say the name that they gave for it because the name that they gave for it is a name for pagan mighty, the demoness of the underworld. So this here would be Yasharal, or some say Yasharal. Some say Yasharal. Some say Yasharal. But that's the true and proper pronunciation. We are not Israel Lamad. That's not our name. That's not Yahuwah's name. He says it's people that are called by his name, which means his people have been given his name. What is his name? Yah. So how do we get this? Israel Lamad. Again, by the heathens. Let me show you. Again, by the heathens. The heathens gave us these names. Why? Because it's the name of their mighty ones, their idols, as you can see on the right of the screen. IS is the short form for Isis, who is an Egyptian mighty one. She's a female. RA is the Egyptian sun mighty one. Elamad is the Canaanite mighty one. They consider him the mighty one of all mighty ones. So if you read this right here in the etymology ISRA and read it and break it down, going down to this part, it says, namely the Egyptian mighty ones, IS is rescripted as Sarah, and RA is rescripted as Abraham, and the Canaanite Elamad is rendered as Lord, Baal. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to, worship the Father, Mother, and Son. So when you call yourself this word, this is who you are giving reference to. This is who you're making a vow to. This is who you're swearing by. When you say, I am ISRA, you're swearing by this, that this is who you are. You're making an oath. You're making a vow with these devils, with these demons. And this is what Yahuwah said in Exodus 23:13 and Joshua 23:6-7. Do not swear by them. Do not make an oath or a vow by them. This is who you're swearing by, making reference to. Now, let's go to the Hebrew in the picto, and show you all of them the picto, the proper pronunciation and spelling, how they should be. Now, as I said, we had the Aleph, the Lamad, the He, the Yod, the Mim, which is Alahym. So see, the Aleph, A, Lamad, here it is, the He, H, yeah, the Yad or the Yod, Y, the Ma'im, Mam, M. So it will be Alahym. The A is for the vowel, for the sound, who to help pronounce it, because it will be A, Lamad, H, Y, M. So you will not know how to pronounce it. So, as I said, the Lamad, it makes a La sound, La sounding. The Lamad makes a La sounding. The He, when the He is not the first letter, then it will be spelled like this, A-H. It will be pronounced like this, rather, A-H. And even when you're spelling it, that's how you would spell it. If it's not the first letter, then this is how it would be pronounced, even though I don't know the difference between Ha and Ha. But if it's the first letter, then this is how it would be. It would be Ha. Ha. Like when we say Ha Shatan, which means the adversary. So when it's the first letter, it makes it the. Like Bah, like Hasham, which means the name. The name. But if it's the second, third, fourth letter, last letter, then this is the AH. That's why his name, Yahuwah, is spelled like this, with AH. Sorry about that. Why did not press? Fingers are messed up. That's why his name is spelled like this and not this way. YAHUAH. So I forgot to mention that because Yahuwah revealed that to me after the Hey teaching, and I forgot to mention that in some of the previous videos. So the Hey, just like the Yod, if the Yod is not the first letter, then it doesn't make a Yah sound, it makes an I sound. It makes an I sound. But you will not pronounce it you will not spell it with an I or E. You will still put a Y there, but it makes that sound. It's the same thing with this. It's not the first, it makes that sound. So that's why we spell it like that, to get the 80. So as you can see, his name is Yahuwah. This is Alahym. This is how it's truly pronounced. This is a plural form, which means mighty. Mighty ones. Plural form, which means mighty ones. Now moving on to the singular form. The Aleph, the Lamad, the Wa, the He. A, Lamad, U, H. Aluah. Aluah. Remember the A makes an A sound. Alu. Ah. Or you can say Al-U-Ah. Al-U-Ah. Sounds a bit more caveman-like. Al-U-Ah. Al-U-Ah. Or you can just say Aluah. Aluah. That's the true pronunciation of the term or title, which means mighty one. It's not E-Luah. That's feminizing, that's changing it, that's corrupting his titles and his names and the words. That's adding to his words. You're taking from it and you're adding to. Stop doing it. It's not okay, it's not right. It will be punishable by Yahuwah. Now, another one, as I said, the Yasharal, which they use I-S-R-A-E Lamad. As you can see, this would not line up with I-S. This is the Yad, which is a Y. This is Shin, it's an SH in English. This is the Rash, which is an R in English. And this is the Aleph, which is an A in English. And this is the Lamad, which is the English-looking letter that looks like a hockey stick. There you go. You see it? It has that design like a hockey stick. So as you can see, this is the transliteration of these Hebrew letters. So where did we get IS from? I just showed you. The mighty, the heathens, those are the ones that remove not only his name, but our name as well, the names of the prophets, the name of our people, the true name of the locations in scripture. Like instead of saying Yerushalayim, which means city, or chosen place of Shalom, because that's why you say Yaru Shalom, Yaru Shalom, or Yaru Shalom, Yaru Shalom, Shalom Shalom. But no, today we say Jerusalem. Instead of saying Yasharal, today we say Isra. So they have corrupted all of this. So it should be Yasharal, which means prince with Aluah, or upright one of Aluah, righteous one of Aluah. That's what this really means. When you become righteous of Aluah, you are a prince of Aluah. So you are righteous, you are a prince, you are an upright one of Aluah. So that's what it means. But the Israel Lamad, you will not get that meaning. Why? Because it only leads you back to 3 pagan mighty ones. So you are making an oath, you are swearing by these mighty ones' name. Now, another thing to note, and quote, before we head out, before we leave, because we're at the end of this video, let me ask you this question. It's something that I always ask, the Mishpaka, the brothers and sisters in the assembly. When you call, if I should say right now, call my Yashar's name, Taniel, what's going to happen? She's going to answer, right? She's going to answer. She's going to say yes, and then she's going to come. What do you think happens when you call on pagan mighty one's name? Don't you think they're answering? Don't you think they're going to come? It's like rubbing a bottle. You know those movies where you see a genie in a bottle? That's what you're doing. When you rub that bottle, you're summoning the genie to come grant you your wish. When you call on these mighty ones' name, you are summoning these mighty ones to come into your presence. Now do you see how dangerous this is? Now do you see why I said this will have consequences? And many don't even know how dangerous this is by calling on these pagan mighty ones' names. Now you have problems in your marriage. Now you have problems at job, your work. Now you have problems in home. Demons are attacking you, and you're wondering why. I'm keeping the Shabbat. I'm eating the foods that Yahuwah commanded us to eat. I'm loving my brother. I'm doing all these things. So why then am I being attacked so much by these demons? Why is there so much problem haywire in my life? It's because you're summoning mighty ones by still choosing to say Elohiym or Israel. Do not be like that. Unlearn so you can relearn. Transform by the renewing of your mind. Do not stuck in that way, or else you will be punished. One more proof to show. Just like these movies, back in the days, they had this movie called The Boogeyman. And they said if you say 3 times and look under your bed or whatever, say 3 times, look in the mirror or whatever, he will appear, he will show up. When you say that name, when you keep on calling him, he's going to come. It's the same thing. If you call Hashatan, they got these 3 a.m. challenge where they use Siri to talk with Hashatan, to talk with the devil. They summon the devil. They call him by his name. What do you think happened? He's going to show up. He's going to come. Whether you're doing this knowingly or unknowingly, he's still going to come. They are still going to come because they want to come. They desire to come. That's why they place their names there. They want your permission to come. Do you think they're just going to ask you to? They're going to subtly get your permission to come into your environment, in your atmosphere, without you even knowing, by you still using these pagan names. Stop doing that, Yasharal. Well, I know not everyone will start doing this because, as I said, some are still Yaakov. Some still don't have a change of heart. Some have not repented. So I know that some will still not, or most will still not do this, because that's why Yahuwah says, many are called, few are chosen. Few chooses to do the right thing. Few choose to be upright for Yahuwah. That's what Yasharal, Yaakov, did. He had a change of heart, and he wanted to go repent to his brother. And that's why he had an encounter with Yahuwah, Yahusha. And Yahuwah changed his name from being Yaakov, which means trickster, heel catcher, to know Yasharal, which means prince, or upright one, righteous one of Aluah, righteous one of Yah. So which would you rather to be? Would you rather to be the trickster, the heel catcher, the one that takes everything for a joke, everything for granted? Or do you want to be the one that's grateful to Yahuwah for giving you a second chance to make things right, for giving you an opportunity to be no longer lost, but now found? How are you going to repay him? Show him that you love him by repaying him by keeping all his commands. Remember, that's what Shamut, Exodus 23, verse 13, and Joshua 23, verse 6 says. do everything, all he commands. If it was not important to Yahuwah, he would not put it there for you to guard. So you choose you this day. Who will you choose to please and serve? Are you going to choose to please and serve Yahuwah or the enemy and yourself? Because pleasing yourself is pleasing the enemy. Pleasing Yahuwah is pleasing yourself. So you decide. So again, look into these horror movies. Look into these 3 a.m. challenges that they do. Look into this game that they had quite a while ago that they call Charlie Charlie, where they use a pencil and a peep and all that stuff, and they call in a name, and then that demon appears. So think about these things, and you decide which will you rather to choose and serve and please. Would you rather to please your friends and families around you, the people around you, or would you rather to please Yahuwah? Because many will call you Torah police, many will say that you're boring and not whatever. And that's why Yahuwah says, be very brave and courageous. That's why Yahuwah said that. That's why Yahuwah said it, to be very brave and courageous. All right? So you choose, you decide who do you want to serve. You were one, you were told by many persons out there trying to get this out. The choice is yours, whether to accept it or to continue to be lazy. Rumamu Yahuwah. This is Watchman Azar Yahuwah. Sign out until the next time we meet again, Barak Yahuwah. Much ahab unto you guys. This is out of love. This is out of compassion, because Yahuwah says, who he loves, he corrects, he rebukes. And because Yahuwah loves us, he's going to correct us, because he knows some of us we did not know. We are unaware. That's why he says his people perish for lack of knowledge. That's why it's important to study, to research. So Yahuwah loves you. He's helping you to do it right, the same way he did with me and so many other of us. He corrected us and we humbled ourselves. So, Aluah, you will do the same and repent of this wicked thing, and repent of this nonsense, and repent of this pagan words, and renounce these words. Practice. If you have a spouse or you have a brother or sister that you can practice with each other. This is something that my Yasharal and I do, and it helped me a lot, avoiding these names. It helped her a lot, and it helped the rest of us as a family in our assembly. If I'm saying something and I say a pagan mighty one's name by accident, my Yasharal will say, hey, remember not to say that word. And then I say, oh, man, Salahi Yahuwah, which means forgive me, Yahuwah. When I say that each time, you know what happens? It helps me. Yahuwah sees the sincerity of my heart, and it helps me not to do it another time. And if I do it again, my Yasharal will say, hey, remember that word. I'm like, man, Salahi Yahuwah, please forgive me. Please help me with this word, Yahuwah. And he does help me. That's why I am. It's easier for me now to not make mistakes like this, even though I still do at times, but it's a lot easier. So many of you will be like, it's hard, Azar, because I've been saying this word and using this word for many years. But if you don't try, how will you know if there will be change? You don't try, you got to start. You got to at least try. Make an attempt, try. Make a real attempt. Be very determined, as the scripture says, and it will happen. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the doors will be open unto you. So if you have brothers and sisters around you, practice with each other. If you have a spouse, a husband or a wife, you two practice with each other. Remind your husband not to say these words. That's why you're his helpmate. And you as the husband, remind your wife, help your wife. You're supposed to look after your wife. You're supposed to lead, do better. So look out for each other and don't be afraid to speak up. Do not let the spirit of fear hold you back from helping your brother or your sister or your spouse or your children. Do not allow the spirit of fear to do that to you. Barak Yahuwah. Much ahab to you guys. All esteem to our great King, Yahuwah, Yahusha, Rumamu, Yahuwah. Shalom, shalom. Zar Yahu signing out. Barak Yahuwah.